The supermarket near your house is hiding something, in plain sight. Not in the back room. That's the whole point. There barely is a back room. Nearly every shop you've ever walked into holds about 3 days of food. That's it. That's the entire reserve between you and empty shelves. And tonight, while you're asleep, most of your country's dinner will be doing 70 miles an hour down a motorway. Because we read those full shelves completely backwards. Abundance looks like storage, like there must be a mountain of food sitting somewhere behind the wall. There isn't. Full shelves aren't proof of a stockpile. They're proof of speed. What you can see is very nearly everything they have. The food industry solved storage decades ago by refusing to do it. They call it just-in-time. Warehouses full of spare food cost money, take space, and rot. So instead, food simply never stops moving. It arrives hours before you buy it, which means the warehouse isn't a building. Your supermarket stockroom is a fleet of lorries, spread across every motorway in the country, right now, in motion. And honestly, it's genius. It's why your food is cheap, fresh, and always there. It's also why the whole system has a 3-day fuse. And why, a few years ago, one of the richest countries on Earth watched its shelves empty over a long weekend. We'll get to that. Follow one strawberry, and you'll see how tight this rope is stretched. Picked overseas, it's chilled within hours. And from that second, the cold can never break. Packhouse, ship, port, distribution center, lorry, shop chiller, your bag. One unbroken thread of refrigeration, sometimes 10,000 kilometers long. The industry calls it the cold chain. Snap it anywhere for long enough, and the food isn't just worse, it's unsellable. And nobody is steering this by hand. Every beep at every till quietly fires a reorder up the chain. Software is predicting how many loaves this exact shop sells on a rainy Tuesday, and sending precisely that many, no more. The system has been sanded down for decades until every ounce of spare was gone, because spare is cost. But here's the trade nobody announced. Efficiency and resilience are opposites. Every scrap of buffer you remove makes the system cheaper on a normal day, and more fragile on the one day that isn't. So what has to break? Almost never the food. The farms keep farming. What breaks is the boring stuff around it. Fuel, because nothing moves without it. Drivers, because there are no spare ones waiting on a bench. Electricity, because a cold chain without power is just a warm chain with paperwork. Take away any one of those, and the river slows. And then the system meets its final weakness, us. If a small fraction of shoppers buys 2 instead of 1, just in case, demand jumps beyond anything just-in-time can absorb. The lorries can't double overnight. Gaps appear. People photograph the gaps. The photos travel faster than the lorries do. And a rumor of a shortage becomes a real one, because every single person acted reasonably. Britain, September 2021. Here's the detail that makes it perfect. There was no fuel shortage. The fuel existed, sitting in depots. What was missing was tanker drivers to move it. A few forecourts closed. The news mentioned it. And millions of drivers topped up. Within roughly 48 hours, a staffing problem had become a national fuel crisis, and then it reached into the food chain. Because the same missing drivers move groceries too. Fresh shelves thinned across the country. No war, no disaster, no failed harvest. A rota gap, multiplied by human nature, emptied shelves in one of the wealthiest nations on Earth, in about 3 days. Exactly as long as the fuse was always going to be. So forget Britain. Let's run it on your street. Not a catastrophe, just a bad week. Day 1, you don't even notice. A few gaps, supplier issues probably. Day 2, the fresh things go first. Bread, milk, produce, everything that was never stored anywhere. Day 3, the gaps stop looking like coincidence, and now your neighbors have noticed, which speeds everything up. You do something you have never once done in your life. Drive to a second shop for basics, and sit with the strangest part. At no point in this story does the food run out. The farms are fine. The food exists. It's just not where you are. And the system that moves it keeps no spare. Here's what I can't stop thinking about. Every generation before us kept a store. The granary, the cellar, the pantry. Deep, boring reserves of food, just in case. We're the first people in history to delete the pantry entirely and replace it with timing. Food arriving moments before we want it, forever. And it works. It's a marvel. But next time you walk into a supermarket and see those full shelves, know what you're actually looking at. That's not a mountain of food. It's a river. And the only reason it looks deep is that it never stops moving. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. There's more where that came from.